Oh, hello, Nature Ninos. I do see some of you out there today. Miss Sally here, and I am using my hand binoculars instead of my real binoculars because I can't find my real binoculars. So there you have it. Good thing these are still effective. Well, hello, howdy. How are you doing? Hola, ¿cómo está? Today's book is a really cool one. I know every week I say this is one of my favorites, but this one really is one of my favorites. It's called The First Forest. Have you ever wondered where the very first forest might have come from? I wonder in terms of location where it might be. I don't know. This book isn't exactly going to answer those questions, but there is an interesting story that we'll read that does chronicle maybe how the very first forest on Earth came to be. Who knows? We'll see. So what we are going to do first is I am going to show you, the signs. I meant to share the screen, not block the screen. But here we go. I'm going to pop this up. Okay, and as always, we will go through the pictures. I will show you the sign, and then when I read the story, you be listening and maybe watching the story as we go through the pages for the words and the signs I've showed you. So this very first picture is a what? It is snow. We are definitely not in the winter time now, which is the season when we see lots of snow. We sign this like this. This is the sign for white. Let me show you on my chest, white. Okay, so you sign white, and then you go like this with your fingers. Snow, snow, snow. Okay, next is this. Weather occurrence. Do you know what that is? It is windy. Those are winds kind of ruffling up the canopy of those palm trees. So we sign wind like this. You can make the noise too if you want. Wind or winds. Sometimes it gets really windy outside, doesn't it? Sometimes it can get so loud with the wind. Okay, this next one is woodland, which is another word for forest. We generally hear the word forest, at least in the New Mexico area, but you can also call it a woodland. And this is a sign I showed you before. This is the sign for tree, but if you do it like this, it's like many trees. So you have tree, or like this, many trees. All right. The next one I chose for today is a monster. I'm not exactly sure what kind of monster this is. And I promise you the monster in this book is not scary. Not really very scary. Not, there are monsters that are very scary, just a little bit scary, and not really scary at all, right? This little guy looks kind of cute, if you ask me. But you sign monster like this. Monster, monster. So that's kind of a fun one to know. How does this boy look in this picture? Really big eyes, right? What does that look? That's a look of surprise, maybe delight and excitement too, but the first thought that comes to mind is that person is surprised. Surprised, right? So we sign surprise like this. Surprise, surprise. Surprise. Your fingers flick up like this, just near your eyes. So sort of just like this. I think it's a boy going, wow, his eyes have just opened up. Surprise, surprise. That's a good sign. All right, this is what growing? It's an itty bitty seedling, right? Looks like, well, it might be a bean or some other kind of plant or a tree. We don't really know. But the word and the concept that we're looking for here is grow. And in this story, The First Forest, you'll see lots of trees grow. Grow. So that's the sign, grow trees grow, grow. Okay, and you know what? When trees grow, I feel happy, just like this picture here. Look at these children's faces. 1, 2, 3, 4 happy faces. So when we have a happy face, we smile, don't we? We have a smile on our face. You can't look like this and say that you're happy. You've got to have a big smile on your face. And we sign that like this, happy, happy, with our open palms, kind of fingers closed, and upward motion, happy, 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 happy. That sign makes me happy. It's a good one. Oh, this sign makes me even happier. This is the sign for peace. Have you ever heard of a thing called peace? Peace means no one's fighting, no one's arguing, everybody's getting along. It's a kind, gentle, loving energy. And definitely, sometimes I really think our world can use a little more peace, I have to tell you. It's for sure. So this, we sign like this, peace, peace. So your hands are kind of going around like this and then out like this, peace, peace. It's kind of a nice sign to make. And if you listen really carefully, you can actually hear my hands make the sign. Ready? Did you hear that? So it makes a peaceful sound, actually. So that's the sign for peace. Then what about this person? She's not feeling very peaceful. And she is also not feeling very much like that other picture we saw with the 4 kids sitting there. She's feeling sad, huh? Sad, sad. You could do it with 2 hands too. Sad, sad, or 1 hand. This sign you can use either. So yeah, she's very sad, and we know that because she looks like she's been crying. Her eyes are closed really tight. She could be mad. She might be a little mad too, but I think she's mostly sad about something. So we sign sad. And I wonder if you ever felt sad before? I bet you have, because I feel sad. Sometimes just as much as I feel happy. But the good thing is I always feel happy again, and I'm sure that happens with you too. We need to have both those feelings, don't we? This next word here, what does that shape look like? It's a heart. And this word is heartbreak. Heartbreak. So you can see there's some emotions in this book we're going to read. There's some interesting emotions. So yeah, heartbreak. We sign heart like this. You use your middle fingers. I have to turn the screen a little bit because I only have a little box that I could see myself in. I want to make sure you could see the sign. So you take your middle fingers and you put them over your heart a little bit, and then you sort of draw a heart over your heart with your hands. So this is the sign for heart, heart, heart. But then if we're talking about heartbreak, we sign it like this, heartbreak, heart. Break, or you can even sign it like this, heartbreak, near the heart, heartbreak. This is the sign for break in sign language, so we're adding heartbreak, heartbreak, or most people tend to sign heartbreak right near their heart, heartbreak. That's not a very happy sign or word, and I wonder how it's going to come up in our story. We'll see. This is one of my favorite signs in real life to sign. You sign it like this, leaf. Leaf, isn't that cool? Leaf. Just like my hand is a leaf coming down from the tree. Leaf. And then what about this? Does this tree have leaves? It doesn't. Those are called evergreen trees. Evergreen trees. And basically, we would just sign tree or forest and then the sign green. The sign green. This is like a Christmas tree type of a tree, isn't it? Ooh, do you see that sun? This is talking about a certain time of year. It's almost that time now. We're still technically in the spring, but the next season is summer. When in the northern hemisphere, it's really sunny, it's really bright, the skies tend to be blue, we see lots of flowers and green, and it's warm outside. And we do cool things like swimming and what have you. So we sign summer like this, summer, summer. So your finger, it goes across your forehead, summer, summer. Let's see. And then finally, I think this is our last sign for today. This is the sign for the opposite of summer, winter. Really easy, just like your chili. Winter, winter. Okay, so those are the words and signs for today. Now I'm going to read the story and we'll see whether you can actually remember the pictures and signs I showed you. Okay, so again, it's called The First Forest and it's written by somebody called John Gile and it's illustrated, which is the person who drew the pictures, by somebody called Tom Heflin. Okay, The First Forest. Let's see. If you wonder, I'm going to sit this way. Let's see if we can do this. If you wonder in winter when you walk in the snow, why some trees stand naked while cold north winds blow. Some of those naked trees. Come with me to visit a woodland I know, where the first trees were made long, long ago. I love the artwork in this book. To get there, just place your hands over your eyes and imagine a tree, any shape, any size, a muscular monster in leafy disguise, or a short, chubby shrub with a prickly surprise. Then imagine another and do it again. Keep imagining trees just as fast as you can. Before long, you will arrive. Oops, I am so sorry. Before long, you'll arrive if you follow my plan in the first forest where all tree making began. All the tree making began. Remember that word and sign grow? And there were a few others. The tree maker made the first trees with great care, with their roots in the ground and their limbs in the air. He gave them strong trunks and green clothes to wear, and made certain that all that they needed was there. The tree maker did all of that. He let each tree choose what it would become, a spruce or a maple, a pine or a plum. There were hundreds of choices they could pick from, and each choice was sure to be pleasing to some. The tree maker saw that his forest was good and was pleased as his trees shared in their new brotherhood. Brotherhood is sometimes another word for peace. Remember, we talked about peace. He helped each tree learn how to grow as it should, changing water and sunlight and soil into wood. How cool is this? Each day in the forest was happy and peaceful. As each day, each tree grew more stately and graceful. Till one sad day, greed, all spiteful and hateful, created a scene nothing short of disgraceful. If the sun makes me grow, some heard one tree say, I'll be biggest and best if I catch each and every ray. So he stretched out his limbs and shoved others away, and the peace of the forest was ended that day. That's kind of sad. Remember the sign for sad? It's kind of sad. Soon other trees followed that tree's lead like sheep. They pushed and they shoved, making wounds that went deep. Broken limbs and dead leaves were knocked off in a heap. It was so, so sad. It made the willow trees weep. I'd be sad too. When the tree maker came to his forest that night, his beautiful trees were an ugly sight. They were twisted and bare and shaking with fright, except for a few that stayed out of the fight. How does the tree maker look? You can't see his face, but I can tell even by just looking at his body there that he's sort of sad with what he's looking at. The way his body is shaped and his body language tells me that information. He's feeling sad. The sight of the mess made the tree maker mad, but the plight of the trees made the tree maker sad. He went heartbroken too. He felt so bad when he thought of the beauty his trees once had. And the tree maker is definitely feeling sad there, huh? Slowly he started to clean up the mess that had changed his woods into wilderness. He chased away greed and selfishness and bound up each wound with tenderness. He's showing care. Then the tree maker did what was hardest of all. He punished the trees that took part in the brawl. He ruled that the selfish ones, big and small, would lose every leaf from their limbs every fall. Well, that's why they lose their leaves, huh? I can't say I knew that before. This is an old book, so the pages really stick together. It's about 30 years old, this book. He rewarded the trees that stayed calm and serene, while others were being selfish and mean, with a promise that they would remain evergreen through summer and winter and seasons in between. Wow. That's how we got the evergreens. That's why in the winter when you walk in the snow, some trees stand stark naked while cold north winds blow. But each spring, the tree maker lets his love show when he gives back their beauty and makes new leaves grow. Look at that. So beautiful, right? It's a rainbow. I know I showed you that sign before. A rainbow. this is a note from the author, and it looks like half of a tree a tree cut in half, or looking at it from the side. Well, I hope you liked that story, The First Forest. Okay, thanks so much for listening. Bye-bye, Nature Ninos. See you next time.